Every Prime Minister brings a unique personality and approach to the role, shaping how the government operates and what it achieves. Herbert Asquith famously captured this when he said that being Prime Minister is all about what the holder chooses and is able to make of it. When searching for clues on how Keir Starmer will lead Britain, there's limited direct evidence. On a recent podcast, Starmer described himself as an inclusive, determined Prime Minister who will look out for everyone in the country. While it's hard to imagine any politician claiming the opposite, except perhaps Nigel Farage, this statement offers a glimpse into his approach. Starmer has been characterized as methodical, professional, good on detail, but lacking in flair. He's likely to be what the late MP and historian David Marquand called a pragmatic operator, focused on practical solutions rather than visionary rhetoric. Unlike Tony Blair or Harold Wilson, Starmer doesn't rely on oratory fireworks, but isn't merely a machine politician either. Authentic working-class background to his role. Entering Parliament in 2015 at the age of 52, he was a latecomer to politics compared to his predecessors, who often had substantial ministerial experience. Despite this, Starmer's political career has been intense. He was deeply involved in Brexit negotiations and led the Labour Party through the pandemic, seeing two prime ministers ousted in quick succession, playing a significant role in at least one of those removals. Importantly, Starmer has led what is effectively a large government department. His 5 years as Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, mean he comes into number 10 as an experienced leader, having unusually run a state organization before his political career even began. Starmer's experience as DPP suggests an emphasis on delivering results. We can expect him to focus on fixing problems, finding solutions, and getting things done. We can also perhaps expect more emphasis on outcomes and an end to the politicization and battles with the bureaucratic machinery of government that characterized the previous administration. It has been suggested that Starmer's will be a mission-led government, organized around a set of guiding longer-term missions with the goal of delivering certainty and sustained change. This idea is not new or particularly radical, but may appear so after the seeming chaos and short-termism of recent years. How and how swiftly decisions are made, or not made, will be the crucial test. Starmer's apparent indecision over the net zero agenda could be the shape of things to come. Being methodical and interested in detail can be shorthand for delay and indecision. He has hinted at being a consultative leader. The best decisions I've made in my life were those held up to the light and that survived scrutiny. The worst were when nobody said boo. However, his penchant for undersharing, as noted by his deputy Angela Rayner, may mean he keeps decision-making concentrated in a small group of confidants. A Starmer-led government is likely, especially with a large parliamentary majority, to be empowered to make changes. As a self-described socialist and progressive, Starmer can hardly avoid it. But how radical will he be? One former Labour minister spoke of how he is very impressive, but he never strays too far beyond the boundaries. Even when he was a radical lawyer, he was one of a conventional sort. Where exactly Starmer sits remains a mystery, or a mystery wrapped in a riddle wrapped in something sensible and beige. A supporter explained how one of Keir's greatest strengths is that he's never been from or beholden to a particular faction of the Labour Party. But one truism of political leadership is that what begins as a strength ends as a weakness. Many fault lines within the Labour Party are already visible, from child poverty to Gaza. Other issues are bubbling away. Starmer's ability to float above the fray can't last, and there are likely to be plots and challenges, especially if a large majority means underemployed backbenchers. Here, Starmer sits within perhaps another classic dilemma of the Labour Party and of Labour prime ministers, what David Marquand called the progressive dilemma, namely how far can you and do you push change without stretching the support of the broad coalition who put you in the job. The approach has so far been cautious, supported by a disciplined shadow cabinet, but a large majority may transform the situation. Other leaders have made huge changes quietly. Theresa May, for example, pushed through a net zero law so silently that nobody even noticed the Tories' biggest legacy. However, to revisit Asquith's warning, being Prime Minister is about what a leader is able to do. Events blow all governments off course, and plenty have been overwhelmed by crises. Starmer would do well to heed the warning of boxer Mike Tyson that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. After his win, there is a weight of expectation on Starmer, but trust in all politicians is low and damaged. There will be pressing domestic issues over migration, public service funding, and the NHS. Abroad, as one Labour advisor warned, there is a stormy world from Gaza and Ukraine to the US election. The true test of what Prime Minister Starmer may be is when his methodical approach meets a messy world. Keir Starmer, the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, has had a telephone conversation with Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, EC. The leaders discussed areas of close cooperation between the UK and the EU, including support for Ukraine, climate change, and regional security. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and support Economic Insights on Patreon. The link is down below.